हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल स्काई इज़ द लिमिट। जैसे कि हमने मेरे पिछले वीडियो में पढ़ा था केप्लर्स लॉ। केप्लर्स फर्स्ट लॉ को हम लॉ ऑफ ऑर्बिट भी कहते हैं, क्योंकि ये बताता है कि हर प्लैनेट सन के अराउंड एक एलिप्टिकल ऑर्बिट में घूमता है। और दूसरे लॉ को हम कहते हैं लॉ ऑफ एरिया, क्योंकि सपोज़ एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में अगर डिस्टेंस d1 कवर हुआ है एंड और एक टाइम में डिस्टेंस d2 कवर हुआ है, but we can say that the area covered by both the distance will be the same at any particular instant of time. And third law को हम law of orbit कहते हैं। जैसे कि planet elliptical orbit में घूमते हैं और एक revolution complete होता है। एक revolution complete होने को हम time period कहते हैं, so that capital T will be proportional to to cube of the semi major axis। जो semi major axis होता है उसका क्यूब होगा टाइम पीरियड का स्क्वायर के बराबर। तो दैट इज थर्ड लॉ ऑफ केप्लर, दैट इज टी स्क्वायर इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू ए क्यूब। तो हम इसी तरह आगे बढ़ते हैं और ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स की तरफ बढ़ते हैं। ये कहानी एप्पल से शुरू हुई और कहाँ जा पहुँची। जैसे कि हम देखते हैं कि हर ऊपर जाने वाली चीज़ नीचे आती है। इसका ये मतलब हुआ कि कोई ऊपर पकड़ने वाला नहीं है? नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। ये एक फोर्स की वजह से होता है जो अर्थ उस ऑब्जेक्ट पे लगाती है। उस फोर्स को हम कहते हैं ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स। चलो अब इसी कॉन्सेप्ट को हम डिटेल में पढ़ते हैं। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं जिसका मास है m1 एंड मास m2। तो इन दो मासेस के बीच में एक डिस्टेंस है, दैट इज d। तो ये ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स कहता है कि जो फोर्स ये दो मास एक दूसरे पर अप्लाई कर रहे हैं उस फोर्स को हम ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स कहते हैं, और ये फोर्स इन दोनों के मासेस पे डिपेंड होता है, दैट इज m1 एंड m2। और इनके बीच में जो डिस्टेंस है d इसके स्क्वायर के बराबर होता है, इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द स्क्वायर ऑफ द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम। तो इसे हम कहते हैं ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स। दिस लॉ ऑफ यूनिवर्सल ग्रेविटेशन स्टेट्स दैट two bodies exerts gravitational forces on each other where the direction of force on either body is towards the center of mass of the other body. Therefore, this universal gravitational constant, that is capital G, is experimentally found out to be 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Newton's gravitational law is also called as inverse square law. Why it is called inverse square law is, as we see, the force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two objects. Let us understand how this relation was deduced and with what help do Newton discover that force was inversely proportional to 1 by d square. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जैसे जैसे दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स दूर जाते जाएंगे, जैसे उनके बीच का डिस्टेंस बढ़ता जाएगा, द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स विल डिक्रीज। ऐसे ही ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स डिक्रीज होता जाएगा। सो दैट मीन्स दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इनवर्स स्क्वायर लॉ, दैट ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स इज इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द स्क्वायर ऑफ द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम। हाउ डिड न्यूटन गेस द इनवर्स स्क्वायर रूल फॉर ग्रेविटेशन? So Newton took the help of Kepler's third law, that is the cube of the mean distance of the planet from the sun is proportional to the square of the distance between a square of the orbital time period. So what it says is t square was proportional to a cube. So with the help of Kepler's third law, Newton found the relationship between the force and the distance, that force is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. So how this equation helped Newton to relate the relationship between the force and the distance? So what does it mean? If the force was increasing, if the distance was increasing, then the force was decreasing. If the radius was decreasing, then the force will increase. They were inversely proportional. Okay, we can draw a graph for it. Suppose if this is distance and this is force, what it says, as the distance goes on increasing, see, you can see here the distance is increasing, the force will decrease. This was the relationship between force and r square. So this equation was deduced with the help of Kepler's third law. So as we all know that the sun is at the center and the planets will be revolving around it. Suppose this is a planet of mass m. It is moving with a velocity v and it accelerates some force towards the sun. Okay, that is the gravitational force. And we know, suppose since the particle is moving with a varying velocity, therefore we can say that the object is accelerating or the planet is accelerating, and this acceleration equation is given by A is equals to v square by r. So this relation you will find in the PUC. Okay, so let's not move to that level. We'll just for our understanding we'll take it as A is equals to v square by r. So as we all know, since a planet is revolving around the sun, to complete one full rotation, okay, to complete, if it's starting from this point and to come to the same point, it covers a full circle, right? And that is known as time period t. To complete one rotation is called as time period t. Since the planet is moving with a velocity v, we say that it is moving with a velocity v. So what will be the velocity formula? It is distance by time, right? So what is the distance? The distance traveled by the planet around the sun is nothing but the circumference of a circle, right? This is the circumference. So we can say circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r, and the time will be equal to the time period t. Hope you are. So here we can write v is equals to distance by time. And we know that the distance traveled by the planet is the circumference of a circle. So that means it is 2 pi r divided by time is the time period. So we get 2 pi r divided by t. Then from the Kepler's third law, we have r cube is proportional to t square, or r cube is equals to k into t square. Or you can write t square is equals to r cube divided by k. Okay. Then we have v square is equals to 2 pi r divided by t. Since 2 pi is a constant, we can say v is proportional to r by t, right? Squaring both the side, what we will get, v square is proportional to r square by t square. Now what is the value of t square? It is v square proportional to r square. Value of t square is r cube divided by k. If this k moves up, we will get here v square is proportional to r square divided by r cube into k. So r square get cancelled. We'll get r square is proportional to 1 by r, since k is a constant. Then as we know that F is proportional to ma, and here m is a mass, a is a acceleration, we know that acceleration is equal to v square by r. So therefore we can write F is proportional to a, right? This is m and then we have a. That is F is proportional to v square by r. What is the value of v square we got? It is F is proportional to v square is 1 by r, and this r is 1 by r. So therefore we get F is proportional to 1 by r square. So this is the relationship between force and the distance, and this is called as Newton's inverse square law. So this is how Kepler's law helped the Newton to find the inverse square law.